Hello, dear listeners. Let's start with a question. Why do you forget English words so easily, even after studying them again and again? Most people blame themselves, maybe I'm just lazy or bad at languages. But the truth is, your brain simply didn't learn those words deeply enough. Here's an analogy. Imagine meeting someone just once at a party. You probably won't remember their name. That's what happens when you see a word just once and move on. Now, you might be thinking, is there a secret trick to making words stick? Yes, and it starts with understanding how your long-term memory works, especially the concept of encoding. Encoding is when your brain takes new information and locks it in, like saving a document on your computer. So, if you want words to become automatic, you need to see, hear, and use them, often transforming those strangers into familiar friends. Let's talk technique. Have you ever tried memorizing long lists of vocabulary only to forget them the next day? That's because the brain loves context, not isolation. A list is like puzzle pieces scattered on the floor. Context, especially real sentences, is like seeing the whole picture on the box. For example, take the word charge. Instead of just repeating it, put it into a real sentence. I need to charge my phone before I leave. Suddenly, the word has purpose, it's alive. Now, I hear you asking, but what if my sentence is wrong? Don't worry. The act of using the word, even imperfectly, creates neural pathways. Those are the brain's mental roads. So, the next time you learn a new word, challenge yourself. Can I use this in a sentence I might actually say? Here's another essential principle. Repetition, but with a twist. Repeating the same word in the same way is like walking in circles. Instead, vary how you use the word. Let me show you with the word delay. Say it with me. There was a delay at the airport. Now, try. Sorry for the delay. My meeting ran late. Each time you change the context, your brain builds stronger associations. This is called semantic encoding, which means connecting a word to different meanings and situations. Imagine you're late to a party and say, "Sorry for the delay, traffic was terrible." Now, that word isn't just a sound, it's attached to a real-life moment. So, don't just repeat, reimagine. Every new sentence is a new hook for your memory. Let me tell you a quick story. When I first learned the word borrow, it was just a textbook definition. But then, I remembered the time I borrowed my friend's bike and almost crashed it. Suddenly, borrow meant more than just take temporarily. It was connected to emotion, embarrassment, and that's what made it unforgettable. This is called episodic memory. It's your brain's way of storing information as real experiences, not just facts. Now you might be thinking, but what if I don't have a story for every word? That's okay, you can create one. Imagine borrowing a book from a library or a pen from your friend. Personal stories act like glue. They bind new vocabulary to your life, making forgetting almost impossible. Here's a secret. Your brain is wired for images, not just words. This is called visual memory, and it's a powerhouse for language learning. Take the word messy. Don't just say it, see it. Picture your desk after a long day, papers everywhere, coffee cups piling up. By linking vocabulary to a strong mental image, you activate multiple parts of your brain. It's like adding an extra layer of superglue to your memory. Now, you might ask, but I'm not a visual learner. Actually, everyone benefits from imagery. Think about how easy it is to remember a photo compared to a sentence. So next time, close your eyes and make the word a movie in your mind. The more vivid, the better. Here's a technique that transforms passive learning into active mastery. Use every new word within 24 hours. Why? Because of a process called active recall. If you don't actively pull the word out of your memory soon after learning it, your brain decides it's not important and deletes it like cleaning out your phone's storage. So, if you learn climb today, try saying, "I want to climb that mountain to a friend," or write it in your journal. Now you might think, what if I don't have anyone to talk to? No problem. Say it to yourself, type it in a text, or record a voice memo. The key is this: use it or lose it. The sooner, the stronger the memory. Let's get personal. Have you ever noticed how you never forget words that made you feel something happy, nervous, even embarrassed? That's because emotional connection triggers a chemical called dopamine, which tells your brain, hey, this is important, keep it. This is called affective encoding. For example, the word nervous. Picture yourself before a big interview, your heart racing. Now, saying, I felt nervous before my job interview becomes more than practice, it's an emotional anchor. Now, you might be wondering, can every word be emotional? Not always, but you can link it to meaningful moments or feelings to boost recall. So, the more you connect words to real emotions, the deeper they stick in your mind. Here's a game changer. Don't learn words randomly. Instead, group them by topic. This is called semantic clustering. For example, let's talk about weather. Cloudy, breeze, and storm. When you group these words, your brain builds a network, like connecting dots on a map. Now, create a story. It was cloudy, the breeze picked up, then a storm rolled in. Suddenly, 3 words are tied together in one scene. You might be thinking, but isn't it slower to learn this way? Actually, the opposite grouped words reinforce each other, making each one easier to recall. So next time, organize your vocabulary by themes: food, travel, emotions, and watch your memory soar. Let's shift gears. Reading and listening are great, but active engagement is where the magic happens. This means speaking, writing, and even acting out new words. For example, if you learn the word climb, don't just say it mimic climbing with your hands. Write a mini story about climbing a hill, or describe a time you climbed something. This technique is called multimodal learning. By involving different senses and actions, you create more memory pathways. Think of it as building a spider web instead of a single thread. Now, you might be shy, thinking, do I really have to act it out? Trust me, the sillier or more physical, the deeper the memory. So, don't just be a passive learner, get loud, get moving, get creative. Your brain will thank you. Let's wrap up with a strategy for the long run. Daily mini challenges. Consistency beats intensity every time. Set a simple goal. 1 new word per day, but use it in 3 real sentences: spoken, written, or texted. This taps into spaced repetition, reviewing information at regular intervals, so your brain moves it from short-term to long-term memory. Now, you might say, but progress feels slow. Remember, language is a marathon, not a sprint. Each small step builds unstoppable momentum. So, take the challenge. 1 word, 3 sentences every day. Watch your vocabulary and your confidence grow for life.